Hoover Dam. Powerful facts you didn't know about Hoover Dam. Hoover Dam is a massive concrete structure built on the border between Arizona and Nevada. It controls the flow of the Colorado River and is responsible for the creation of the giant scenic reservoir of Lake Mead. Did you know that the dam is only 30 minutes from Las Vegas and offers some of the most spectacular scenery in the Southwest? Here are some more fun facts you may not know about Hoover Dam. 1. Hoover Dam wasn't built just to supply power. Hoover Dam was constructed for multiple reasons. For one, it was built in an effort to help control flooding of the Colorado River as it snaked through the Southwest on its way to the Gulf of California. Also, as the West opened up and more people settled there, the need for water increased. The dam was engineered to help divert water to areas the river otherwise passed. Lastly, of course, the dam was constructed to provide hydroelectric power to millions of nearby residents, and still does to this day. Hoover Dam has been creating hydroelectric power since 1936. 2. Hoover Dam is massive. Imagine a 4-foot wide sidewalk wrapped completely around the Earth at the equator. That's a lot of concrete. That's how much concrete it took to build the Hoover Dam. It's amazing when you think about it. The dam is 726 feet tall and 1,244 feet long. That's almost a quarter of a mile. At its base, the dam is a whopping 660 feet thick. That's longer than 2 football fields stretched end to end. At its top, Hoover Dam is 45 feet thick. That may seem thin compared to its massive base, but it's still nearly as wide as a 4-lane highway. 3. Hoover Dam wasn't always called Hoover Dam. When surveyors were first scouting locations for the site of Hoover Dam, they recommended Boulder Canyon, just upriver from the dam's current location. This led the team working on the dam to call it Boulder Dam. Later, when the construction site was moved to Black Canyon, the name stuck and the dam continues to be called Boulder Dam. So how did it come to be called Hoover Dam? In September 1930, construction began on a railroad line that would terminate at the dam site. During the groundbreaking ceremony for the line, it was announced that the new dam would be named for the then president, Herbert Hoover. 4. Building Hoover Dam created an entire city. Speaking of places named Boulder, you may not know that Nevada's Boulder City didn't exist before the Hoover Dam project. In fact, the city was built in 1930 solely to house the 5,000 workers employed to build the dam. Boulder City was constructed on federal land and had no local mayor or other elected officials. Oddly enough, the entire city was managed by an employee of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. This person had the power to institute rules as he saw fit. Some of Boulder City's early statutes even banned gambling and the consumption of alcohol. It wasn't until 1960, 30 years after the city's initial construction, that the federal government surrendered control and Boulder City was officially incorporated. 5. As many as 138 workers died during construction. Hoover Dam was built between 1931 and 1936, and those 5 years were not without disaster. Reports from the construction site list 96 deaths due to accidents. In addition, 42 workers were reported to have died from illnesses while the dam was being built. However, today some historians believe that it was exposure to carbon monoxide in construction tunnels resulting in carbon monoxide poisoning, which actually caused these additional deaths. It's important to note that despite some dark legends about Hoover Dam, no one was buried alive as the 4.3 million yards of concrete were poured. In all, around 21,000 men worked to construct the dam. On an average working day, there were approximately 3,500 men working on the construction of the dam, with the highest average number of workers reaching around 5,200 men during June of 1934. Wages were slim compared to today's standards, with men being paid an hourly wage ranging from 50 cents to $1.25, according to the History Channel. 6. The Nazis plotted to blow up Hoover Dam during World War II. In November 1939, before America entered World War II, U.S. officials learned of a Nazi plan to blow up Hoover Dam. Destroying Hoover Dam would have had the disastrous effect of cutting off critical electric 7. Hoover Dam construction started. During a heat wave, work started in April 1931. That summer, southern Nevada sweltered through record-breaking temperatures for months. By June, just 2 short months into construction, the average daily temperature was reaching a high of 119 degrees Fahrenheit. Because ventilation was limited and the vast tunnels being built for the dam, it's reported that conditions within the tunnels were much worse. The workers in the deepest parts of the tunnels worked in temperatures between 130 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer months. Understandably, many of the workers suffered heat stroke on multiple occasions. 8. Las Vegas bid to be the project's headquarters. Las Vegas, also known today as Sin City, wanted to be the place where the Hoover Dam project established its headquarters. In 1930, Las Vegas was not the glittering metropolis we know today, but it still had a reputation for being a Wild West party town that could pose a debaucherous distraction for those employed to build the dam. When the U.S. Secretary of the Interior visited Las Vegas in 1929, the city's mayor cracked down on the local goings-on. He shut down several brothels and speakeasies in an effort to lend the city an air of class. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out and Boulder City was built to house the workers and headquarters for the Hoover Dam project. 9. Hoover Dam was once the tallest dam, up until the Hoover Dam was completed 2 years ahead of schedule. The tallest dam at 420 feet tall was the Owyhee Dam in the state of Oregon. When the Hoover Dam was completed, it set a new record of 726 feet from bottom to top. It was not until 20-plus years later that a taller dam was built, the 820-foot tall Malwazen Dam located in Switzerland. While Hoover Dam remained the tallest dam in the United States, that record was soon given to the Oroville Dam located in the state of California in the late 60s, measuring 770 feet tall. 10. Hoover Dam has enough concrete to stretch across the United States. The construction of the Hoover Dam was subsidized by the Bureau of Reclamation, which supplied massive amounts of concrete to build the 726-foot-tall dam. The project required 1.11 million cubic yards of concrete for the dam's power plant and additional buildings and facilities, while the dam itself required 3.25 million cubic yards of concrete. Together, the over 4 million cubic yards of concrete would build a monument. 100 feet square and 2.5 miles high, would rise higher than the 1,250-foot-tall Empire State Building it placed on an ordinary city block, or would pave a standard highway 16 feet wide, from San Francisco to New York City, according to the Bureau of Reclamation's website. This amount of concrete is equal to about 5 million barrels of cement, which was the approximate amount of concrete the Bureau of Reclamation used over the previous 27 combined years of existence. Prior to building the Hoover Dam, 11. The cooling process for concrete was sped up. Concrete takes time to settle and change from a liquid to a solid. The greater the amount of concrete, the longer it takes to cool. With the high amount of concrete used to build the Hoover Dam, it would have taken approximately 125 years for the concrete to cool if engineers would not have created a faster solution, an incredibly large refrigeration system capable of producing an average of 1,000 tons of ice each day. Blocks of concrete were poured, then the engineers embedded a series of 1-inch pipes in them, through which ice water was circulated, according to the New York Times. This sped up the cooling process considerably, with each large building block of concrete only needing around 2 months to fully cool. The refrigeration technique also meant that the concrete cooled faster, making it less susceptible to cracking. 12. One worker saved another after falling. There were a handful of casualties during the construction of the Hoover Dam, but also incredible tales of lives being saved after accidents had occurred. One such incident involved a high scaler, workers who rappelled down the canyon walls to manually remove loose rocks and boulders in preparation for concrete. Oliver Cowan, a high scaler, was working when he heard the slip of engineer Burl R. Rutledge about 25 feet above him on the canyon wall. Without a moment's hesitation, he swung himself out and seized Rutledge's leg. A few seconds later, high scaler Arnold Park swung over and pinned Rutledge's body to the canyon wall. The scalers held Rutledge until a line was dropped and secured around him and the shaken engineer was pulled, unharmed, to safety, according to the Bureau of Reclamation. 13. Herbert Hoover was not at the dedication of the dam. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, commonly known as FDR, oversaw the dedication of the Hoover Dam. Similar to many of his employees working on the project such as the fascinating insight, and each year nearly 7 million people visit the dam to snap selfies and experience its grandeur. And the best part, Hoover Dam is just a short ride from the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas. If you'd like to see Hoover Dam for yourself, Grayline Las Vegas offers multiple Hoover Dam tour options that will take you up directly from your Las Vegas hotel. Hoover Dam, formerly called Boulder Dam, dam in Black Canyon on the Colorado River, at the Arizona-Nevada border, U.S. constructed between 1930 and 1936, it is the highest concrete arch dam in the United States. It impounds Lake Mead, which extends for 115 miles, 185 kilometers, upstream and is one of the largest artificial lakes in the world. The dam is used for flood and silt control, hydroelectric power, agricultural irrigation, and domestic water supply. It is also a major sightseeing destination, with some 7 million visitors a year, almost 1 million of whom go on tours through the dam. Hoover Dam is 726 feet, 221 meters, high and 1,244 feet, 379 meters long at the crest. It contains 4,400,000 cubic yards, 3,360,000 cubic meters of concrete. 4 reinforced concrete intake towers located above the dam divert water from the reservoir into huge steel pipes called penstocks. The water, after falling some 500 feet, 150 meters, through the pipes to a hydroelectric power plant in the base of the dam, turns 17 Francis-type vertical hydraulic turbines, which rotate a series of electric generators that have a total power capacity of 2,080 megawatts. Nearly half of the generated electric power goes to the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, the city of Los Angeles, and other destinations in Southern California. The rest goes to Nevada and Arizona. The dam, power plant, and reservoir are owned and managed by the U.S. Department of the Interior Bureau of Reclamation. Hoover Dam is named in honor of Herbert Hoover, the U.S. President during whose administration, 1929-33, construction began on the dam and whose work as Commerce Secretary in the 1920s secured agreements necessary for the project to proceed. Erected during the Great Depression, the dam was a major endeavor that employed thousands of workers. Around 100 fatalities occurred during its construction. Although legislation passed by Congress in 1931 officially named the dam for Hoover, officials in the succeeding administrations of Franklin D. Roosevelt and Harry S. Truman referred to it as Boulder Dam, its name during the planning stages before construction. In 1947, Truman signed a congressional resolution restoring the structure's formal name to official use. From the time of the dam's construction, a federal highway traversed the dam's crest, serving both visitors to the dam and travelers between Nevada and Arizona. As the dam and surrounding Lake Mead recreation area rose in popularity, traffic increased. Traffic problems became especially severe under the security restrictions imposed after the attacks of September 11, 2001. Construction began in January 2005 on a long-planned Hoover Dam bypass project, and in October 2010 a concrete arch bridge with a 1,060-foot, 322-meter span, the longest in North America for this type of bridge, opened for through traffic within view of Hoover Dam. The old road along the crest is reserved for use by visitors to the dam. 7 things you might not know about the Hoover Dam. 1. The dam's name was a source of controversy. Surveyors originally recommended the dam be constructed at Boulder Canyon, leading the initiative to be called the Boulder Canyon Dam Project. Even when Black Canyon later was deemed a better location for the new structure, it continued to be referred to as the Boulder Dam. However, on September 17, 1930, at a ceremony in Nevada to mark the start of construction on a railroad line to the dam site, U.S. Secretary of the Interior Ray Lyman Wilbur announced the dam would be named for his boss, President Herbert Hoover, who had been inaugurated in 1929. In 1933, Hoover was succeeded in the White House by Franklin Roosevelt, and the new Secretary of the Interior, Harold Ibbs, no fan of Hoover, declared the structure would once again be called Boulder Dam. By that point, the name Herbert Hoover also had taken on negative associations for a number of Americans, who blamed him for the Great Depression. In the ensuing years, Hoover Dam and Boulder Dam were used interchangeably, the preference often depending on the political leanings of the speaker, according to Michael Hilfick, author of Colossus, Hoover Dam and the Making of the American Century. Finally, in April 1947, President Harry Truman approved a congressional resolution that officially confirmed the City was created for people working on the dam. In the early 1930s, Boulder City, Nevada, was constructed to house 5,000 decameters project workers. Before the city was built, many jobless men and their families who converged on the dam site, hoping to find employment in the midst of the Great Depression, had lived in squatter settlements. Boulder City was situated on federally owned land and had no elected officials. The city was run by an employee of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, the agency responsible for the dam project, who had the authority to evict residents as he saw fit. Among the local rules, alcohol and gambling were banned. The Boulder Dam Hotel was erected to host dignitaries coming to see the dam's construction. Famous figures from Betty Davis to the future Pope Pius XII visited in the 1930s. After nearly 30 years, the federal government relinquished control of Boulder City, which was incorporated in 1960. 3. Hoover Dam created America's largest reservoir. Formed by the damming of the Colorado River, Lake Mead, the nation's largest reservoir, covers about 248 square miles and is capable of holding some 28.9 million acre-feet of water. An acre-foot is equivalent to about 325,000 gallons. The creation of Lake Mead, named for Elwood Mead, commissioner of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation when the dam was being planned and built, flooded the community of St. Thomas, Nevada, and turned it into a ghost town. The last resident of the town, which was settled by Mormon pioneers in 1865, rode away from his home in 1938. Today, the reservoir supplies water to farms, businesses and millions of people in Nevada, Arizona, California and Mexico. Lake Mead also is a popular site for boating, fishing and swimming. America's first national recreation area was established there in 1964. Today, as a result of a drought the Colorado River Basin has experienced for the past decade and a half, Lake Mead has dropped to its lowest level since it was first filled in the 1930s. 4. No one was buried alive in the concrete. Building the dam was too expensive for one company to tackle alone during the Great Depression, so a group of construction firms banded together and, using the name Six Companies, submitted a winning bid of $48.8 million for the project. At the time, it was the largest contract awarded by the federal government. A total of 21,000 men worked on the dam, an average of 3,500 each day, with the daily figure peaking at more than 5,200 in June 1934. When it came to hiring, the contractor was supposed to give preference to veterans of the Spanish-American War and World War I. Six Companies was contractually prohibited from hiring Mongolian or Chinese workers, and while government officials pledged to help ensure that African Americans be employed on the project, the actual amount of black workers hired proved minuscule. A small number of Native Americans were hired as high scalers, responsible for removing loose rocks from the canyon walls with jackhammers and dynamite, while suspended from ropes, in preparation for the dam's construction. Building the dam was tough, dangerous work, for which men were paid an hourly wage ranging from 50 cents to $1.25. Officially, the project had 96 construction-related fatalities, from such causes as falling rocks and run-ins with heavy equipment, but some sources contend a number likely was higher. Some 4.3 million cubic yards of concrete were used to build the dam, its power plant and auxiliary features, enough concrete to pave a 16-foot wide, 8-inch thick road from San Francisco to New York City, according to the Bureau of Reclamation. Contrary to popular myth, no workers were buried alive in the dam's concrete as it was poured. 5. It once was the Earth's tallest dam. Rising 726.4 feet, Hoover Dam was the world's tallest dam when it was built in the 1930s. These days, it's the second tallest dam in the U.S., having been surpassed by the 770-foot high Oroville Dam in Northern California in 1968. The globe's tallest dam is the 1,001-foot high Jimping-I Dam in Langshan, Sichuan, China, which became operational in 2013. Hoover Dam's power plant was the world's largest hydroelectric station from 1939 to 1949. It has an installed capacity of 2,080 megawatts MW and currently generates around 4 billion kilowatt-hours kWh of hydroelectric power annually, for homes and business in Nevada, Arizona and California. China's Three Gorges Dam, which started generating electricity in 2003 and became fully functional 9 years later, is considered the planet's largest hydroelectric dam, with a capacity of 22,500 megawatts. In 2014, Three Gorges broke the global record for annual hydroelectric power production, generating 98.8 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity. The biggest hydropower producer in the U.S., Washington State's Grand Coulee Dam, completed in 1941, a third power station was added in 1974, has a capacity of 6,809 megawatts and generates about 21 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity each year. 6. During World War II, the dam was the target of a German bomb plot. In November 1939, with World War II underway, U.S. officials found out about an alleged plot by German agents to bomb Hoover Dam, by planting bombs at the intake towers to sabotage the power supply to Southern California's aviation manufacturing industry. After American authorities learned of the plot, private boats were prohibited in the Black Canyon. Stricter regulations for dam employees and visitors were enacted, and a variety of other security measures such as physical barriers and increased lighting were put in place. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941, the dam was closed to visitors for the rest of the war. The dam had its own police force, but the Army provided some personnel to help guard the dam. Additionally, government officials investigated various possibilities for protecting the dam from an aerial attack, such as large-scale smoke screens or the construction of a decoy dam, but none of these options were used. Hoover Dam reopened to the general public in September 1945.